Imagine being crowned the #1 quarterback in the nation, with every major college begging for you to sign. Scouts already whispering your name as a future NFL star. Now imagine, never playing a single snap in the league. Not one. This is the unbelievable rise and fall of the 5-star phenom who went from can't miss to completely forgotten in just a few short years. Fork Union Military Academy in Virginia isn't just another high school. It's a quarterback factory. NFL scouts have had their eyes on this place for decades, and in 2012, all of them were talking about one name, Christian Hackenberg. He wasn't just good, he was perfect on paper. A 247 sports rating of 100 out of 100. The #1 pro-style quarterback in the nation. Arm like a cannon, frame built for Sundays, and the poise of a 10-year veteran. Alabama wanted him. Florida wanted him. Miami wanted him. He could have gone anywhere, but instead of chasing the bright lights, he made a move that shocked the recruiting world. He committed early to Penn State, and not just any Penn State. Penn State in the middle of one of the biggest scandals in college football history. Top recruits were fleeing, players were transferring, the program's future was in question. But Hackenberg stayed. That loyalty made him a hero before he ever threw a single pass. Fans called him the savior, reporters called him the cornerstone of the program's rebuild. And when he finally arrived on campus, all eyes were locked on the kid they believed would change everything. But loyalty can't win games. And Hackenberg's first season would prove just how high the bar was set. When Christian Hackenberg stepped onto the field for his first college game, it didn't feel like a debut. It felt like the start of a legend. Head coach Bill O'Brien, fresh from the New England Patriots, built a pro-style offense tailor-made for Hackenberg's arm. At 6 feet 4 inches, 220 pounds, he already looked like he belonged in the NFL. And with that rocket arm, he could hit throws most quarterbacks wouldn't even attempt. In his very first game against Syracuse, Hackenberg dropped 278 yards and 2 touchdowns. A week later, 311 yards and 3 scores against Eastern Michigan. By mid-season, he wasn't just living up to the hype. He was rewriting Penn State's record books. Most passing yards by a freshman. Most touchdowns in a game by a freshman. And in a thriller against 18th-ranked Michigan, he engineered a last-minute game-tying drive that sent the game into not 1, not 2, not 3, but 4 overtimes before Penn State pulled off the win. By the end of his freshman year, Hackenberg had thrown for nearly 3,000 yards and 20 touchdowns, earning Big Ten Freshman of the Year honors. Analysts were already calling him a future first-round pick, with some saying he'd go #1 overall. On campus, he couldn't walk 10 feet without someone stopping him for a photo. But just as the stage was being set for an even bigger sophomore season, everything changed. After that electric freshman season, everyone expected Christian Hackenberg to take the next step. Bigger numbers, more wins, a clear path to the NFL. But then, the worst possible thing happened. Bill O'Brien, the coach who had built the offense around Hackenberg's strengths, left to take the Houston Texans job. Overnight, the system that made Hackenberg look like a star was gone. Penn State brought in James Franklin from Vanderbilt, a coach known for his energy, recruiting, and spread, up-tempo offense. But here's the problem. That system demanded quick reads, mobility, and constant movement. Hackenberg was a pocket passer who thrived on scanning the field, setting his feet, and unleashing deep strikes. Franklin's playbook was like putting a heavyweight boxer in a fencing match. And if that wasn't enough, Penn State's offensive line collapsed. In his sophomore year, Hackenberg was sacked 44 times, one of the highest totals in the country. That's almost 9% of his snaps ending with him on the ground. Week after week, he was getting hit, running for his life, and losing the confidence that had made him so dangerous. The numbers told the story. Just 12 touchdowns, 15 interceptions, and a completion rate under 56%. The mechanics that once looked so polished started breaking down. His footwork got sloppy, his accuracy dipped, and that unshakable presence in the pocket, gone. Still, some scouts thought the talent was salvageable, but the cracks were becoming impossible to ignore. By his junior year, the excuses were running out. Yes, the offensive line was still shaky. Yes, the scheme still didn't fit him. But now, Hackenberg's struggles went deeper than bad protection. He was jittery in the pocket, sailing passes over open receivers, and making questionable reads that left fans shaking their heads. The quarterback who once looked unflappable now seemed like he was bracing for the hit before it even came. Even on good days, something was off. His stats might look fine on paper, but the film told a different story. Missed timing, broken mechanics, and hesitation where there used to be confidence. Still, he left Penn State with the school's all-time passing records, 8,457 yards and 48 touchdowns. But those numbers didn't erase the fact that Penn State was no longer a serious contender, and Hackenberg wasn't carrying the team the way stars are supposed to. Despite everything, he declared for the 2016 NFL Draft. Scouts were split right down the middle. Some believed he was a victim of bad coaching and could be rebuilt into an elite quarterback if placed in the right system. Others thought the flaws were permanent, that his freshman year was a mirage and the league had already figured him out. But everyone agreed on one thing: his accuracy was a glaring red flag. A career completion rate of just 56% in college is the kind of stat that keeps NFL general managers up at night. And yet, on draft day, one team made a decision that shocked everyone. 2016 NFL Draft. The first round came and went without Christian Hackenberg's name being called. But early in the second round, the New York Jets stunned the football world. They took him with the 51st overall pick. It wasn't just surprising, it was baffling. The Jets already had Ryan Fitzpatrick coming off one of the best seasons of his career, plus Geno Smith and Bryce Petty. Hackenberg wasn't walking into a quarterback battle. He was walking into a crowded room where he was, at best, QB4. And training camp, a disaster. Reports leaked that Hackenberg's passes were so wild, he literally hit a reporter on the sideline, twice. One anonymous Jets coach even said he couldn't hit the ocean. That's not the kind of review you want when your job is to throw a football. Preseason didn't save him. In limited action, he completed just 6 of 16 passes in one game, then followed it up with an 11 for 31 performance against the Eagles' backups. That's 35% completions, less than 2 yards per attempt, and one lonely touchdown to go with a pair of interceptions. By the time the regular season started, Hackenberg was buried on the depth chart, holding a clipboard as the 4th-string quarterback. Not one snap, not even in garbage time. But year 2 was supposed to be his chance, and instead, it would prove to be the beginning of the end. The 2017 season was supposed to be Hackenberg's moment. The Jets cleaned house at quarterback, Fitzpatrick was gone, Geno Smith was gone, leaving just veteran Josh McCown and Bryce Petty. For the first time, the door to a starting job was wide open. Hackenberg got snaps in every preseason game, even starting 2 of them. This was his audition, but the script didn't change. Over 4 games, he threw just 1 touchdown, and that was fewer than the number of pick sixes he gave away. His decision-making was shaky, his accuracy still missing, and the flashes of that 5-star talent nowhere to be seen. When the dust settled, Hackenberg didn't win the starting job. He didn't even win the backup job. He was back to holding a clipboard as the 3rd-string quarterback. And for the 2nd straight year, he didn't play a single regular season snap. By the following offseason, the Jets had given up. They traded him to the Oakland Raiders for a conditional 7th-round pick. Basically, the NFL's way of saying, we'll take anything for him. 3 weeks later, the Raiders cut him. The Eagles picked him up and cut him. The Bengals gave him a look and cut him. It was clear, the NFL stage wasn't his stage. But Hackenberg wasn't ready to give up just yet, and his last shot would take him far from the bright lights of the NFL. With NFL doors slamming shut, Hackenberg looked for any way to prove he could still play. His final opportunity came in the Alliance of American Football, the AAF, a short-lived spring league looking to give overlooked players another shot. He signed with the Memphis Express, and for the first time in years, he was the unquestioned starter. No depth chart politics, no clipboard, just him and the field. But the dream unraveled almost instantly. In his first 2 games, Hackenberg completed just 51% of his passes, threw 0 touchdowns, and looked completely lost in an offense that was supposed to be simpler than the NFL. After only 2 starts, he was benched. And that was it. At just 25 years old, the former #1 quarterback in the nation, the 5-star recruit who once seemed destined for NFL glory, was done. No more contracts, no more tryouts. His career had ended before it had truly begun. But why did it all fall apart so fast? The truth is, it wasn't just one thing. From the outside, Hackenberg's downfall looks like a mystery. But when you piece it together, the reasons are painfully clear. The first blow came with the sudden coaching and system change at Penn State. Overnight, the pro-style scheme that perfectly showcased his strengths was replaced by a fast-paced spread offense that simply didn't fit his game. Add in a collapsing offensive line, one of the most porous in college football, and Hackenberg spent most of his sophomore year running for his life. 44 sacks in one season doesn't just hurt physically. It rewires a quarterback's instincts, leading to rushed throws, shaky mechanics, and eroded confidence. Then there was his rocky relationship with James Franklin. While neither side has ever fully aired the details, rumors of friction and miscommunication only fueled the narrative that Hackenberg wasn't being developed. He was being left behind. By the time the Jets drafted him, those cracks had turned into fault lines. And the Jets, with their infamous track record for mishandling young quarterbacks, were perhaps the worst possible landing spot. Without the right coaching or patience, his raw tools never translated to the pro game. The NFL doesn't wait for you to figure it out, and Hackenberg simply never had the chance to. Christian Hackenberg's career shows that talent alone isn't enough. You can have the arm strength, the size, the pedigree, but without the right system, the right mentors, and the right timing, even the brightest prospects can fade before they ever shine. His fall wasn't about one bad game or a single bad season. It was a chain reaction. A coaching shift that broke his rhythm, protection that broke his mechanics, and a pro team that never gave him the structure to rebuild. In football, as in life, potential is just the beginning. The rest depends on where you land, who guides you, and how the pieces around you fit together. Talent may get you to the doorstep, but in the NFL, the right situation is everything.